I believe we were talking about person. Person is the 20th spirit described in Goetic literature, although in the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, person is described um, person is the 10th listed inside of the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, but nonetheless he answereth truly of all things earthly and secret, of the divinity and creation of the world, and bringeth the best familiars. Again, that is like Buer. Speaking of number 10, Buer is the 10th spirit described in the Goetic literature, so you see how funny that is, right? Definitely a teaching spirit like Buer. And person can take a body either human or airy. Invisible, oftentimes. But nonetheless, let's continue. Eligor, alias Abigor. You may have heard of Abigor inside of some movies with demons and stuff, But another alias would be Eligos, but that's not inside of this text. Is a great duke, and appeareth as a goodly knight, carrying a lance, an ensign, and a sceptre. He answereth fully of things hidden, and of wars, and how soldiers should meet. He knoweth things to come, and procureth the favour of lords and knights, governing 60 legions of devils. He answereth fully of things hidden, and of wars. That means that questions of an occult nature he can answer. Occult means hidden, so anything hidden he can reveal. And of wars and how soldiers should meet. Well, if he has knowledge of things to come, then he would know where you should meet, so that you do not meet defeat. If that makes any sense to you. Also, knowledge of things to come, many of the Goetic spirits and many of the spirits listed in the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, many of these alleged demons, many of these spirits have precognition. They have ability to foresee future events. So when it says that the spirit can discuss things past, present, and to come, then that means that that spirit is gifted with precognition. So if I know how something's gonna happen, I can always change it and alter it. Larray, alias Array, although in Goetic literature it would be Larage, is a great marquis, showing himself in the likeness of a gallant archer, carrying a bow and a quiver. He is the author of all battles. He doth putrefy all such wounds as are made with arrows by archers. And there's a Latin phrase, duos optimus objisit tribus dabus, and he hath a regiment over 30 legions. Velfor, alias Malifar, is a strong duke coming forth in the shape of a lion, and the head of a thief. He is very familiar to them whom he maketh himself acquainted, till he hath brought them to the gallows, and ruleth 10 legions. And to understand this, you need to understand what gallows means. The gallows was a term for a medieval and old style place where they hung people. Like where they had hangings, So that's what the gallows represents. So if he's acquainted with lawbreakers, he also makes those lawbreakers face the consequences of their actions. Morax, alias Farai, a great earl, and a president, he is seen like a bull, and if he take unto him a man's face, he maketh man wonderful cunning in astronomy, and in all the liberal sciences. He giveth good familiars and wise, knowing the power and virtue of herbs and stones, which are precious, and ruleth 36 legions. He maketh men wonderful cunning in astronomy. Think about that. He teaches men about space, about the cosmos. About the astral bodies and how they are related to biological life. And in all the liberal sciences. He giveth good familiars and wise. The familiars he gives, the familiar spirits that he awards, magicians, are wise. And many of them also have knowledge of herbs and precious stones, and the properties of those herbs and precious stones. Ipos alias Eporos is a great earl and a prince appearing in the shape of an angel, and yet indeed more obscure and filthy than a lion, with a lion's head, a goose's feet, and a hare's tail. He knoweth things to come and past, and maketh a man witty and bold, and hath under his jurisdiction 36 legions. You're hearing 36 a lot, aren't you? That's neither here nor there. He knoweth things to come and past. This is saying that Ipos possesses precognition. He maketh a man witty and bold. That's self-explanatory. Naberius, alias Cerberus, is a valiant marquis, showing himself in the form of a crow. When he speaketh with a hoarse voice, he maketh a man amiable and cunning in all arts, and specially in rhetoric. He procureth the loss of prelacies and dignities. 19 legions hear and obey him. He maketh a man amiable and cunning in all arts. Amiable is friendly. Amiable is synonymous with friendly, if you didn't know that. Cunning is charismatic and sly. So if you're friendly, charismatic, and sly, then you'll definitely be more successful. Cunning in all arts, and especially in rhetoric, meaning your talking ability, your grammar, your speech. Like in an RPG, it would be speechcraft, your speechcraft. He procureth the loss of prelacies and dignities. So that means that he has the same power as many of the other spirits over the favor of others, if you understand what I'm saying. Glaciolabus, alias Cacrinalis, or Castamolar, is a great president who cometh forth like a dog, and hath wings like a griffin, and he giveth the knowledge of arts, and is the captain of all manslayers. He understandeth things present and to come, precognition. He gaineth the minds and love of friends and foes. He maketh a man go invisible, and hath rule of 36 legions. That would be 36 legions. Well, obviously he has influence over the minds of man and can cause the magician to be favored by others. He can also reconcile friendships or relationships. He maketh a man go invisible. That would be like Bel. He hath the and hath the rule of 36 legions. Glaciolabus is the 25th spirit described in Goetic literature in the Ars Goetia portion of the Lemmageddon. Zapper is a great duke, appearing as a soldier, inflaming women with the love of men, and when he is bidden he changeth their shape until they may enjoy their beloved. He also maketh them barren, and 26 legions are to obey, and commandment. That's saying that Zapper was used to harass women until they would succumb to a man that liked them or whatever. You know how that is. You know, it says that Zapper is able to transmute and transform them through transmutation until they succumb. Bileth is a great king and a terrible, riding on a pale horse, before whom go trumpets and all kinds of melodious music. When he is called up by an exorcist, he appeareth rough and furious to deceive him. Now, the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum was actually penned. It was actually created for Christians and stuff. It was actually used by exorcists. There's actually a big part of it at the end of it that talks about Jesus and a lot of crazy shit. So, but this actually was the Goetic material is referenced. You know, in the Lesser Key of Solomon was referenced, but the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum was used by exorcists and people that were trying to combat the effects of Goetic magic. And the Goetic magic, of course, was occurring via the Goetic demons, the Goetic spirits, the spirits within the Goetia. The spirits associated with Solomon and a brazen vessel. When he is caught up by an exorcist, he appeareth rough and furious to deceive him. Then let the exorcist or conjurer take heed to himself, and to allay his courage. Let him hold a hazel bat in his hand, but withal he must reach out toward the east and south, and make a triangle without besides the circle. And make a triangle without besides the circle. But if he hold not out his hand unto him, and he bid him come in, and he still refuse, the bond or chain of spirits let the conjurer proceed to reading, and by he will submit himself, and come in, and do whatsoever the exorcist commandeth him, and he shall be safe. Don't try that. That's actually dangerous. That's dangerous to try, and I don't actually agree with it. I don't think you will be safe at all. So if you try that, just be ready to deal with the consequences of your actions. Yeah, would be like the one of the universal laws. One of the hermetic principles is causation, causality. That's like cause and effect. So it's like if you do something, expect the result from your action rationally. Don't be irrational. Like threatening spirits and stuff from like rehearsing threats and shit like that. Like don't do that. You want to talk. You want to trash talk something that is extreme. That is more powerful than you will ever than you can ever dream to be. That is crazy. That is dangerous. If let the king be more stubborn and refuse to enter into the circle at the first call, and the conjurer show himself fearful, or if he have not the chain of spirit, certainly he will never fear nor regard him after. If the place be unapt for a triangle to be made without the circle, then set there a bowl of wine, and the exorcist shall certainly know when he cometh out of his house with his fellows, and that the foresaid Beleth will be his helper, his friend, and obedient unto him when he cometh forth. And when he cometh, let the exorcist receive him courteously, and glorify him in his pride, and therefore he shall adore him, as other kings do, because he saith nothing without other princes. And I'm pretty sure that you can understand all of that. The wine would be considered an offering, and if it accepted, Beleth would But it's all, but once the wine runs out, then it's like, okay, well, you're screwed. Unless you have a good relationship with the spirit. But that's neither here nor there. Also, if he be cited by an exorcist, always wear a silver ring of the left finger on the left of the of the middle finger of the left hand must be held against the exorcist's face, as they do for Mammon, and the dominion and power of so great a prince is not to be pretermitted. For there is none under the power and dominion of the conjurer, but he that detaineth both men and women in doting love, till the exorcist had his pleasure. He is of the order of powers, hoping to return to the seventh throne. And this text says it is not altogether credible, and he in Beleth ruleth 85 legions.